You know, it makes sense that when a superhero makes a baby, it will inherit some of those super traits from its mama and its papa.
But sometimes these little super kids end up becoming leagues and bounds more powerful than anyone expected.
And that's what we're focusing on today. I'm Adam Andrews.
And I'm Amanda McKnight. And today on Top 10 Nerd, we're counting down the top 10 superhero children beyond Omega level power.
Woo!
Number 10. Stargirl. Stargirl is Courtney Whitmore, and while she herself isn't superpowered, she does wield an immensely powerful staff that grants her a ton of power. The staff is known as the Cosmic Staff, and before was wielded by Jack Knight. It also has sometimes been known as the Cosmic Rod. The device itself has tons of powers and abilities and was initially created by Ted Knight, the original Starman. While you might think that removing the staff from Stargirl would work in defeating her if, all of her power is just in this one item, the rod itself can become attuned to users who then use it and summon it with mental commands. At present, it is attuned and bonded to Stargirl, so good luck trying to defeat her, because if you separate her from it, she'll just summon it right back. Powers include gravity and magnetic manipulation, energy projection and absorption, the ability to create energy constructs, force fields, potentially bolster strength, and more.
Number 9. Hiro-Kala. When the Hulk was banished from Earth by the Illuminati during Planet Hulk, he crash-landed on the planet Sakaar, which is where the Hulk met his second wife, Kara. Although Kara appeared to pass away in the destruction of Sakaar, she actually gave birth to Bruce/Hulk's first children, Scar and Hiro-Kala. Now, a lot of people are aware of Scar, and he even had an appearance in the MCU, although he looks nothing like he should. But Hiro-Kala seems to be often overlooked. While Scar looks like his dad, Hiro-Kala takes more after his shadow child mother in more ways than one. Other than being pale, bald, and rather skinny looking, Kala inherited the ancient old power after the destruction of Sakaar. But learning that the old power was corrupt, he just creates the new power by combining the old power with the power cosmic, fueled by hate for Galactus. With this power, Hiro-Kala has insane levels of durability. He's been able to bestow the power on others, mutating them. He could create force fields capable of taking on a blast from Galactus himself. He had precognitive visions. He could create energy blasts powerful enough to destroy planets and turn into stone. He's incinerated fools, made people's heads explode. He can fly, control tectonic plates, move planets, and pull them out of their orbit. And yeah, he's kind of off the chain. I don't know.
Number 8. Impulse. Bart Allen has been more associated with the Kid Flash name than the main Flash name, though he did at one point dress as the Flash in order to buy time for Wally. Unfortunately, his very brief time impersonating the Flash wearing the costume was cut very short at this time, as Bart was without his powers and ended up being killed. Of course, this was still a very moving story involving Bart, who's probably the most beloved member of the Flash family, with really only Iris and Jay West offering, I would say, any potential competition. These two are also a couple of super lovable cuties as Wally and Linda's kids. Also, despite being young, Bart Allen is still super powerful when he is powered. He can time travel, hop dimensions, and has been shown to be fast enough to fend off and even beat Godspeed, and he can phase. Bart Allen would end up taking up the speedster hero mantle of Impulse.
Number 7. Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda Maximoff, is believed to be the daughter of the mutant supervillain and occasional reluctant anti-hero, sort of not really, known as Magneto. Possessing a unique set of reality-altering powers, Wanda is one of the most complex and powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Her abilities center on chaos magic, enabling her to manipulate probability and reality itself. She can create and alter matter, launch energy blasts, and even reshape the fabric of reality. However, her powers often come at a cost, as they are intrinsically tied to her emotional state. This has led to moments of instability and significant events in Marvel's history, such as the infamous House of M storyline, where she altered reality on a global scale. Now, while she is not officially recognized as an Omega level threat, her actions show that she can indeed reach those levels. Despite her familial ties to Magneto, Scarlet Witch has displayed various roles, from a member of the Avengers to a pivotal figure in the mutant affairs on the good and the bad sides of things.
Number 6. Billy Batson. Shazam, or Captain Marvel as some still refer to him as today, is one of the most powerful heroes DC has, despite actually being a kid posing as a grown-up magical man and hero. Shazam's powers come from the gods, the limitless wisdom of Solomon, strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, power and omnipotence of Zeus, courage of Achilles, and speed of Mercury. There's really no limit, or there really shouldn't be, to what he can do.
Number 5. Proteus. The son of Moira McTaggart and her crummy husband Kevin McTaggart was an Omega-level mutant with psionic reality warping powers, but also a pretty uncontrollable thirst for energy, which made him a danger to everyone around him. Moira was forced to enclose her son in a special status room that would sustain his energy consumption, but when this room was damaged, his body became burnt out and he needed to possess other human host bodies in order to survive. But these hosts could not contain his energy, so he would burn right through them, leaving whole swaths of bodies in his wake as he moved from one to the next until he managed to possess his own father, Joe. Now, of all the things for an insanely powerful reality warping mutant to be weak to, Proteus here had an inexplicable weakness to metal. After burning out Joe's body and being vulnerable in a form of pure energy, Colossus of the X-Men turned into his metal form and seemingly with one punch disrupts Proteus's energy form, causing a massive light show and scattering Proteus's energy all over Scotland. But Proteus would go on to return, possessing Blindfold, Destiny, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Husk, and Trance in one fight, and way later he would eventually become a member of the Five, ensuring the survival of the mutant race. So he's kinda good in that regard, I guess.
Number 4, Naomi. Naomi is probably one of the most powerful of the younger heroes we've seen. Her powers are on the level of heavy hitters such as one of DC's main heroes, Superman. In fact, while transformed into her superhero mode, Naomi's power set is pretty similar, except for one very important and unique element to her. Unlike Superman, whose weakness is magic, Naomi actually bolsters and boosts magic around her. Her powers allow her to generate energy, which she can use in a few different ways. In combat, using it to blast opponents or to give her a physical boost. Alternatively, she can use that same energy to boost magic and magical beings around her, which honestly is pretty neat. However, as Naomi is still young, despite her potential, she still has some learning to do when it comes to her power set and how to best utilize and control it. Still, when she is fully in her power, when that happens, she will be one of the most OP superheroes at DC Comics, I imagine.
Number 3, Legion. David Haller was living in Paris with his mother when her home was suddenly invaded by an assassination team. Like that happens all the time. They took out David's stepfather before his eyes, which kicked off his latent psionic powers, which he then used to incinerate the brains of the assassins. However, as he did so, he also made telepathic contact with each of his victims, thus experiencing their thoughts and emotions as they passed away, which deeply affected David, forcing him into a catatonic state. At the same time, the consciousness of the leader of the assassins, Jamel Karami, was absorbed and merged into David's mind. All this happening had somehow splintered David's personality into multiple alters, with each of these alters controlling a different psionic power. Because of this, Legion is an Omega level mutant able to create spontaneous mutations of different kinds, including reality warping, that are accompanied by new personas or alters to govern each one of these new mutations. The whole reason David even has an X gene, though, is likely due to the fact that he is the son of the father figures to mutants everywhere, Professor Charles Xavier.
Number 2, Franklin Richards, or at the very least an alternate Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards of Earth 616 has had his mutant status removed and has been significantly nerfed in recent years, and while I'm personally not convinced this will end up staying a permanent change to his character, I don't think it's been undone yet, and it's been a while, so I might be waiting for some time. It would seem that Franklin had been using his powers to alter his genetics to appear as a mutant, but in reality was not, as Lady Gaga would say, born this way. This was not intentionally done, but apparently was subconsciously done, and when his powers started to go all wonky, eventually his unintentional genetic manipulation came to an end, exposing him basically as a fake mutant. A future Franklin Richards of Earth 10774, however, seemed to have remained a mutant, either permanently one in this future, or simply not exposing that he had unintentionally faked his mutant genes. It was the Mad Celestials in this future that literally identified him as beyond Omega level.
And in at number 1 today, it's Hyperstorm. Hyperstorm, or as he is known in his civilian identity, Jonathan Richards, is a character I think a lot of people forget about. His heritage finds its roots in 2 of Marvel's most prominent and powerful bloodlines. His father is Franklin Richards, the reality warping son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm of the Fantastic Four that Amanda just talked about. But his mother is Rachel Summers, an incredibly powerful telekinetic and telepathic mutant who is the daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey of the X-Men. With these two incredibly powerful and influential influential family trees fueling Jonathan, he became one of the most powerful beings we have ever seen in Marvel Comics. He is essentially infinite psionic power drawn from hyperspace, allowing him control over the 4 fundamental forces of the universe, those being the strong and weak nuclear forces, electromagnetism, and gravitation. Theoretically, this means he can restructure, create, manipulate, and/or destroy matter from a cosmic scale down to a subatomic level. He can create electromagnetic fields and electrical currents, make matter radioactive, manipulate gravity, cause nuclear detonations, emit enormous energy blasts, and honestly, accomplish nearly anything he sets his mind to. And then, he also has telepathy, telekinesis, and can heal from pretty much anything. And he has used these powers to conquer all of the inhabited worlds of the explored space of the alternate reality of Earth 967. And he's even messed with his ancestors in the Fantastic Four of the past. Alright, well that's about it.
Thanks for watching, and until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.
Peace out, nerds!
Bye!